From the East and the West, you've heard others, but now you've tuned into the best. This is a Prime Wave Media production.
What's up, world? It's the one and only Pop DBICD, Primetime Capper, and I'm feeling good. I'm feeling great, and this is the premier sports betting show. And man, I'm telling you, this is the Primetime Angles Live, and man, it was a fun weekend in Vegas. Boy, do I tell you, it was a fun weekend in Vegas, and pretty much it did start. It was a pretty epic night, very good pay-per-view as well too. If you do love boxing, you very much enjoyed this fight. And so pretty much what we have here is a very, very good day in the boxing world, because I think boxing fans won Saturday. I know it was a pay-per-view. I know it was $75, but I think it was well worth the price of admission. So Keith Thurman goes ahead, wins a unanimous decision versus Barrios in an absolute war. Now, he did rearrange Mario Barrios' nose, but Mario Barrios did hit Keith with some pretty clean shots as well, too. Sitting ringside, you see a lot of different things that maybe people don't see on TV. And I thought that both of these guys, they were absolute warriors. But when I went ahead and judged the fight, I had my scorecard going 115, 112 to Keith Thurman. I did not know he was coming in here in that great of shape, but Keith Thurman took his time, and it seems like that this guy pretty much had to wake us all up and make us remember how talented he really is. Because everybody has to remember, when Keith Thurman was starting out and he started getting on TV and started getting a big, hype up and everything like that, he was on HBO and he was knocking people out, everything like that. And then he had a fight where maybe he got knocked down in an early round. The fight went the distance and he wound up still winning the fight. He knocked the guy down like 3 times, but still. Then people had a little bit of doubts, right? And then Keith Thurman goes off, and they have that WBC, that WBC fight where pretty much the title is vacant, and there you go. Keith Thurman goes ahead and wins that title, and then Keith Thurman was able to go ahead and fight against Sean Porter, and then unify that situation as well too. So he was a unified champion. So, Keith Thurman, we have to remember exactly who he is, at the end of the day. Now, he was a WBA champion, WBC champion. Actually, he won the WBC championship from Danny Garcia. Let me take that back. So, Keith Thurman really had to go ahead and prove himself. And I think that, let's just be honest here. Everybody wants Spence and Crawford, but I think Crawford is going to be held up in court for a while, because he's dealing with the old man, Bob Arum, who's an old lawyer who's been playing this game for 100 years. So pretty much he's going to be out for a while. I will truly tell you this, that Keith Thurman is going to get the winner of the Spence Ugas fight, okay? And that's going to be another monster pay-per-view fight that probably will line up sometime in the mid portion of fall, probably October, November, okay? So pretty much with that, you have this situation where it's going to be real fun here in the welterweight division as everybody graduates to 154, okay? So Keith did his job, and I think that he's on to greener pastures, and I think that he put the whole 147 division on notice, and I know that he pretty much went ahead and reintroduced himself. So it's going to be a good year for old Keith Thurman, and I'd like to go ahead and thank him for his time. I did speak to him for a few minutes after the fight. I did see him in the lobby at the Mandalay Bay. And you know what? I want to thank him for his time. And he's one of the more humble guys that I've met in this business as well, too. And Keith, man, congratulations once again. So let's go ahead, move forward, and let's talk about our next topic. And it's about UCLA. UCLA winds up losing to Arizona State. Arizona State is the worst team in the Pac-12. But if you know UCLA and you know California schools, you know that it's always tough winning in the desert. Both those schools are USC and UCLA's arch rivals. It's that simple. You know, they're the state that's south to California. And you have to understand they're rivals because a lot of recruiting battles come down to both of these schools in the Pac-12. So I'm not surprised that UCLA went out here and got swept for the weekend. What I'm surprised about is that the fact that people think that something's going to is wrong with the team. There's nothing wrong with the team. This is college basketball. You can lose 2 in a row during the season. Now, UCLA was kind of slighted a little bit by top 25 voters, but once again, who cares about the top 25 again? And top 25 rankings in college basketball don't matter anymore. When I was a kid, it used to be everything because those teams didn't get moved like that. You know what I mean? Those teams that were in the top 10, they would be in the top 10 for about a good 3 months, right? But nowadays, those teams that are in the top 10, could they be in there for a good 10 days is the question now. So UCLA, they lose both of their games. Now, Arizona was the game they really had to win. Arizona State, you say to yourself, you thought you were going to win the game, but Arizona State played with some effort. Hey, sometimes teams just get a spark, and that's what happened. I think UCLA will recover very well from what happened this weekend, and all this is more motivation. I'm telling you right now, Mick Cronin is a fighter, man. And Mick Cronin is the type of guy, he'll take his punches, but when he's going to give you his punch, it's going to be a big punch. And this weekend, his team took some punches. But when it comes down to it, I know that they're going to deliver the final blow because I still favor UCLA to be in the national championship and to possibly win the national championship. They know that they have to make adjustments, but they do have 2 of the best rebounders in the nation as well, too. So that gives them their best foot forward. So UCLA, we'll see how it goes. But hey, it is what it is. No time to panic in Westwood. All right, so let's move on and talk about something that I don't talk about that much, but I will talk about it a little bit more because I'm very intrigued now, and I don't want to be that guy. I don't want to be that guy. But we have somebody who is a rock star, not just in the WNBA, but in the DJ world, in the party world, club world. And she is coming to LA. And she's by far probably the most gorgeous 6'5" woman I've ever seen. And this is going to be Liz Cambage. And she has to be the best post player in all of women's basketball as well, too. That means in the world, in my opinion, she can go ahead and hit it from the three-point line. She can go ahead and hit you from 4 or 5 feet out. I think she can even throw up a nice little jam there as well, too. But she is a beautiful woman, but she's a fierce competitor. And yes, the Sparks looked a little lost without having Candace Parker on the roster anymore. But now they brought in a player that is going to be a absolute gem, not just on the court, but off the court as well, too. A lot of sponsors and brands are going to be all over Liz Cambage. The problem with what happened with Liz is that the Vegas did not want to pay her. She asked Vegas for a pay raise, and Vegas said no. And it's very understandable because at the same time, Vegas has a great roster, but you have to understand something. Vegas is not a big market, TV market, okay? They come on like UPN out in Vegas, okay? Or like the We Network or something, or one of those little local networks that people barely watch. So they're not, it's more about, the stories that come about their winning games. That's great and all, but they're not a team that's going to attract a lot of brands to come on over because it is Vegas, but Vegas is a tourist place. You know what I mean? At the end of the day. So you come to Los Angeles, you're worldwide DJ. Have you done big events and things like that? Hey, you could be DJing every Saturday night in Hollywood. And then you have these big brands, makeup, things like that, everything that's going on. She can be a spokesperson for this and ambassador for this. This is almost the same. This is why AD was so adamant about making the move to Los Angeles as well, too, because he was in New Orleans, which is a great party city and a great, hey, we got drunk here and, a great tradition, but he wanted to be a megastar. And this girl has been on the brink of being a megastar. And I said 2 years ago that she had to be in LA. And now she is in LA. And now I think that they brought their most marketable player ever to the franchise, in my opinion. And I think it's going to be absolutely incredible. Like I said yesterday, courtside tickets, sign me up, because the Sparks are going to be right back in the mix, and it's going to be fun to watch. And their games are going to be must-see TV. So there it is. There it is. All right. So with that, we move on, and let's go ahead and talk about something that got everybody's blood boiling, because Miami hired somebody. Miami would have been better off just going ahead and having the owner coach the team this season, to be honest with you, okay? Because what happens now is that they've hired Mike McDaniel, as the head coach. Did they get it right, or did they hire a placeholder? Now, let's go ahead and get this right. Okay? So everybody, we can just throw this out right now. Mike McDaniel is half white, okay? And half black, all right? So he's considered a minority coach, all right? So pretty much the Dolphins went ahead and still, in their eyes, hired a brother. So we'll just leave it at that. But all in all, let's go ahead and talk about Mike McDaniel's career. Mike McDaniel went to Yale University, and he's a kid from Aurora, Colorado, to be exact. So he went to Yale University. Same university as one of my favorite cousins, Frank Cross. And he went there. He played some football there, and he graduated from Yale. And what happened with Mike McDaniel is that Mike McDaniel was actually hired as an intern back in 2005 by Kyle Shanahan's father, Mike Shanahan. And then he went with Kyle to Houston, and he was hired as an offensive assistant under Gary Kubiak. And then he went to the Sacramento Mountain Lions and became their running backs coach. Now, Sacramento Mountain Lions were a team that was in a ill-fated league. I called they were in the UFL, the United Football League. So that was just a little whatever league for a while, but he returned back to the NFL in 2011 and wound up being on the staff for the Washington Redskins, and he was the offensive assistant once again under the coach that hired him in Denver, Mike Shanahan. So he goes to Cleveland with Kyle and becomes the wide receivers coach up under Mike McDaniel in 2014. Then he goes with Kyle to Atlanta, and he's hired by the Atlanta Falcons as their wide receivers coach under Dan Quinn. But, he was really under Kyle Shanahan, who was their offensive coordinator. And he was a part of the staff that blew the Super Bowl. And then when Kyle Shanahan finally got the call to be a head coach, he took his main man with him and promoted him to being the offensive coordinator after Mike LaFleur left, because he came on as the run game coordinator. They had a difference because Kyle Shanahan's the offensive coordinator and the head coach, but he had a run game coordinator and a passing game coordinator. Mike LaFleur has moved on now to the New York Jets to be the offensive coordinator with Salah. So pretty much the 49ers went 10-7 this year. McDaniels is pretty much he's been able to set up the schemes. A lot of people were like, he's not calling the plays. I was like, but when you set up the scheme, that's different. It's not always about who's calling the plays. It's about who's putting the parts together. You feel what I'm saying? So pretty much, I think that at the end of the day, I hate to say it, I know people don't want to hear it, but I think that the Dolphins actually hit a home run on their hire, because the guy is well-rounded. Think about it. He came from the bottom. Interns can get fired in a day, but he did all the right things to get himself promoted. So he goes with Kyle, and Gary Kubiak over here to Houston becomes an offensive assistant. So you went from an intern to assistant in a year. So you went from not getting paid to being paid in a year. So you worked the wide receivers group, you worked the running backs group, and then you became an offensive coordinator. So you worked your way up the mill, rites of passage. This is exactly what it takes to be a head coach in this league. And I tried to explain this to somebody the other day. Who gives a damn if he's calling the plays? If he's a well-rounded coach that knows how all the positions works and knows where to put the pieces in place to make sure the offense is successful, then he's a damn good head coach. That's what head coaches do. They're coaches for a reason. They're putting together the best game plan to win a football game. And I think that's exactly what he's bringing to the table. They're bringing in a coach that's going to want to coach the quarterback that they drafted. Okay? That's what it's all about at the end of the day. He's going to come in here and coach the guy that they drafted, because Tua is a star in a sense where he might not be a star in his stats yet, but he's a star and to the point to where he's very marketable. He's very marketable for South Florida. So you have to try to make it work. That's the whole thing. So pretty much, I think Mike McDaniel is a very good hire. San Francisco's run game was one of the best run games for the last 5 years. And he did get to the Super Bowl as well, too. And the run game is the thing that changed the whole culture of this squad. Kyle Shanahan was not good at first. But then when they interjected this run game and his ideas and his ideologies, they became one of the better teams in the NFL. So this was a damn good hire by the Miami Dolphins, like it or not. All right. So with that, we'll go ahead and take a quick commercial break. But first, let's go ahead and send a little shout out to one of our proud sponsors here. You guys, I have the ad sitting in the actual title for the show. So when you guys go on to YouTube, things like that, you guys go ahead and press the link there. If you guys want to go ahead and sign up for the Rapid Rewards, go ahead and let Southwest pay you for flying, because pretty much, man, they'll go ahead. Those points start racking up and things like that. I know, because I travel a lot. So pretty much you guys go ahead and jump on that deal right there with Southwest. Get your Rapid Rewards and get your little credit card from them and everything like that. It will work out for you. So pretty much you guys go ahead and press that ad when you guys are going ahead and looking at the show topics and things of that nature. So there it is. So with that, I'll be back. This is the Premier Sports Betting Show, the Primetime Angles Live.
Good News Only Racing Club, led by the legendary Doug O'Neill, the trainer of 2 Kentucky Derby winners and I'll Have Another and Nyquist. Also trained 2-time Breeders' Cup champ Golden Sense, who are just a part of a long list of thoroughbred champions trained by Doug O'Neill. The Good News Only Racing Club has a young core of horses to look out for in Dennis's Celery, Irish Heatwave, and Notre Dame, just to name a few. Win the day every day with the Good News Only Racing Club, a proud sponsor of the NFL Bet Exchange.
From the East and the West, you've heard others, but now you've tuned into the best. This is a Prime Wave Media production.
Tune into Big Wave Boxing every week with a brand new guest, with the one and only Pop DiBiase, the Primetime Capper, getting the best boxing stories, best boxing angles, and the truth when it all comes down to the sweet science. Tune into Big Wave Boxing on the Prime Wave Media channel on YouTube.
All right, real quick, we got we had some comments coming in. Some Dolphins fans were watching. What's up, big bro? You know I'm a heavy Fins fan, still kind of on the fence about the choice, but I'm willing to see how things go. Yeah, that's the only thing that you can do, because a lot of people thought that. Take me for instance. I thought that Zach Taylor was going to probably get fired this year. To be honest with you, Zach Taylor is probably going to be the coach of the year at the end of the day. You know what I mean? So you can't just you can't just tell the coach, tell yourself that coach is just going. You gotta give people a chance. You know what I mean? Sometimes you gotta have the right pieces in place to get everything right. Now, I know that you did say that you guys don't have any good backs, but it don't. This is the NFL. Everybody that gets paid to be a running back can be good. It just takes an offensive line to go ahead and make that happen. All right, at the end of the day. But I thank you so much, brother. That's my brother from the Bronx right there. He's a day one guy right there, my boy Crucky. But he's a big Georgetown fan as well, too. But shout out to Cruck. Shout out to the Bronx as well, too. He's always been a big fan, but much love to my brother right there. Thank you for chiming in today and talking about you and, having something to say about your Dolphins. All right, so let's go ahead and jump into the state of the Lakers. The Lakers, big win Saturday night. I wasn't able to watch the game because I was at the fight, but it was a big win Saturday night. I'll give the Lakers their props. They looked real good in that game from when I watched it on the replay. So pretty much I think that all in all that we're going to go ahead and make it happen. You know what I mean? We got LeBron back, and I think honestly we'll have Kendrick Nunn we'll have Kendrick Nunn back as well too to be traded to somebody, and hopefully it's New York, because you know what? If the Knicks don't want Kimber, DiBiase won't Kimber. I'm telling you right now, Kimber Walker could be the fix for this team, because that's exactly who Westbrook needs. To be honest with you, Westbrook don't have to shoot no more, because Kimber can be the shooter. They can be two little Tasmanian devils out there. It ain't even about playing great defense, because I think Kimber can guide the defender to his help defender. I mean, he can guide the dribbler to his help defender, because he'll be with guys that are really good. And I think if you put Kimber Walker in the room with guys that are really good, like LeBron, AD, Westbrook, Carmelo, this thing will work. So, Rob Pelinka, please, go get Kimber Walker. The writing is on the wall. If it didn't work in New York, it's going to work in LA. Because let me tell you a great story about Kimber Walker. I was a big-time Kimber Walker fan when he was at Rice High School in the Bronx. He's a Harlem kid, though, as well, too. So, pretty much, this kid, this was his dream. I remember reading his article. He said, we're going to win the state title. I'm going to go play at UConn. We're going to win a national title. Then I'm going to get drafted by the Lakers, and me and Kobe finna win a world title. He never got drafted by the Lakers to win a world title with Kobe, but he got the other two. So why don't we go ahead and have him win a title with LeBron? But it is wishful thinking, because with the Lakers, it is one game at a time. But I do see this team coming together, though. I think that LeBron, what he said after the game, that rang bells. And pretty much it was a signal to say that some of y'all ain't going to be on this team next week. All right? I'm just letting y'all know right now. Some of y'all who like to be over here hanging out, going to Taco Tuesday with me and everything like that, brother, you're not going to be in Los Angeles no more doing that. You know what I mean? So we'll see how it goes. But Lake show's off tonight. They'll be back tomorrow. So we'll go ahead and we'll jump into the NBA. All right. So let's see what and you already know my man's over here going crazy. Let's see what he got to say about Kimber. Yes, see, he knows we need to go get Kimber, because Kimber is the answer. He's the answer. Kendrick Nunn ain't played all season, and then he'll probably be like, he'll probably play 2 games and it'll probably flare up again. So we don't need that. We need players. We need bodies on the floor. Come on, man. We done got so bad in the guard position. We had to go get Isaiah Thomas. And no offense to Isaiah, but come on, man. Come on. We signed guys for a reason. If he wasn't healthy before we got you, Rob, why would you go ahead and send the contract? Seriously, dude. These are the things I'm talking about. And you guys still want to have him as the general manager? It's the Lakers brand that brings people. It's the Lakers brand and the people that have been dealing with the Lakers forever. When you put in just a placeholder, come on, man. Time is up. All right, let's go ahead and move on. Let's talk about the NBA. NBA is going to be good tonight. We only got 5 games tonight, though. We got the Wizards and the Heat first. Wizards and Heat. This one is going to be it's This one is going to be one of those games where you tell yourself, all right, the Heat should cook tonight, right? But I don't see that happening. I see the spread is kind of long on I see the spread is kind of long on the Wizards side, and the Wizards are coming in as the home team. So at the end of the day, like that's kind of like, I don't know, because the Wizards have played the Heat pretty well. So when it comes down to it, why don't we go ahead and have some fun tonight and play the Wizards money line? And that's what I'm going to do tonight. And the reason being I'm going to play the Wizards money line right now is because the Wizards are in a good spot at home. And I think Monday night, a lot of people are going to overbet the Heat. So I'm going to go ahead and play the value here. And you're going to get plus 210 tonight on the Wizards as well, too. So let's go ahead and see how it goes, see how it checks out, but see if the home team can go ahead and get us paid. So there it is. There it is. Now we move forward and let's go ahead and talk about our next game up, which is going to be another good one. It's going to be between the Raptors and the Hornets, and this one is going to be pretty. This one is going to be a game that's going to produce a lot of scoring. I can tell you that right now because the Raptors have kicked it on now. At the start of the year, they were pretty bad, but the over-under 223.5, I think that this is going to be absolutely epic. I think that this game is going to wind up at 230 or better tonight. And then the Raptors are a short favorite. Okay, when I say short favorite, that means that you really can't pick a side, but we'll go with their side because they're playing a little bit better basketball at this point. But I wouldn't favor anybody over Charlotte that isn't a top 3 team in the league in Charlotte. This team is really good at home. Like, this is the sole reason why Charlotte is going to make the playoffs this year on how well they play at home. So I say this game goes over. All right, so let's see how it goes. Let's see how it checks out. We move forward from there. Now, we move forward to the Suns and the Bulls, and the Bulls and the Suns going at it. This game is going to be in Chicago, and everybody remembers 1993 when John Paxson hit the shot that literally just silenced the whole state of Arizona and half the world, pretty much because everybody wanted to see Barkley get that Game 7. So pretty much now today we have them once again as two of the best teams in the NBA almost 30 years later. And could we have a Suns-Bulls matchup? Maybe, but I think it could be a series that would sell. Suns-Bulls, Booker versus Ball, or Booker versus Levine, Paul versus Ball. You know what I mean? Like, it's a lot of names. DeMar DeRozan would be a part of that. So there's a lot of big names that would be in that situation. So when I look at this game, though, I say, all right, you got a Suns team that's really playing good basketball right now. They did have their 11-game winning streak broke, and I told you guys it was happening, but they came back around the next night, and Washington won by 15. Now, the Bulls have won 3 out of 5, but they dropped their last 2 out of 3. So, yeah, they lost to Philly by 11. Philly's pretty good, but losing to Indiana was kind of sketchy. So, you know what? I think the Bulls should be good, but we'll have to see. We'll have to see how this one really shapes up. So, from what I'm seeing, I would like to play the under because you don't have Ball here to really distribute the ball like that tonight because he's going to be out for a few more weeks. But I think tonight we're going to get some defense tonight. So I'm going to take the under 228 here with the Suns and the Bulls. All right, so we move on to the Warriors and the Thunder. And tonight's game is going to be at Oklahoma City. And then you have Steph kind of dealing with the thigh situation, I guess. And then you have Clay coming back. Clay's kind of just putting it all together. But, it looks like this is going to be their final game against the Thunder this year. And the Thunder, actually, they're more, like I keep saying, they're playing way better than they did when they started, but they're still a bad team. Don't think for a second they're not a bad team. But you do have a Warriors team that's just won 8 games in a row as well, too. So them being a 12.5 tonight makes total sense, to be honest with you. And then you look at a Thunder team that actually are 2-1 right now. They did lose to Sacramento on Saturday, but Sacramento was due for a win. So this is always a dangerous spot for teams when you overlook teams. And I think that the Thunder will be in business today, knowing that they didn't have to travel to Oakland. They're going to be in Oklahoma City for this one. So we'll see how it goes. Thunder Warriors. But I am going to take the Thunder today with the plus 12.5. Why not? All right. So we move forward to our next game, which is going to be the Jazz and the Knicks. And the Jazz and the Knicks are going to be all right. Real quick, before we get into this game, I got some breaking news. Kyler Murray has absolutely pretty much told the Arizona Cardinals time to let him go, because he's erased all social medias, scrubbed all his accounts, everything that he's ever done with the team, and I guess he's going to go ahead and demand a trade. So what does this mean? I think that Houston may have themselves a dance partner, because think about this. Kyler Murray is from the state of Texas. Kyler Murray started off at Texas A&M as well too. So wouldn't it be great to go back home and go play for the Houston Texans, a team that could possibly win the AFC South next season, because you're playing in the most open division in football? My. All right. So tomorrow we'll have a whole lot to open up with that can of worms right there. So, but let's stick to basketball. And pretty much we got the Knicks and the Jazz tonight. The Jazz are the host team tonight in Salt Lake City. But I think what happens here tonight is that the Knicks absolutely get upended. I know that the Knicks got a chance to beat them tonight. Okay, I know that. But I think the Jazz, they need to get over game. So this is that get over game. So let's see how it goes. So there it is. We got the Knicks and the Jazz tonight. I like the Jazz with the 7.5, and we move forward from there. All right. So when we get back in a few moments, we'll go ahead and we'll get into talking tickets. And I got the CBB PrimeTime PK6, and I also got the NBA Super High Fives. So you guys stay tuned. This is the premier sports betting show, the Primetime Angles Live.
Now you and your friends can compete in the sport of kings and win big with Stable Duel. Get the app, pick your horses, and get in on the thrill of horse racing with daily games competing against other players. Bring home the glory and the cash, and move up the annual leaderboard while you leave your competition in the dust. Get in the game with Stable Duel. Play, race, win.
Good News Only Racing Club, led by the legendary Doug O'Neill, the trainer of 2 Kentucky Derby winners, and I'll have another in Nyquist. Also trained 2-time Breeders' Cup champ Golden Sense, who are just a part of a long list of thoroughbred champions trained by Doug O'Neill. The Good News Only Racing Club has a young core of horses to look out for in Dennis's Celery, Irish Heatwave, and Notre Dame, just to name a few. Win the day every day with the Good News Only Racing Club, a proud sponsor of the NFL Bet Exchange.
All right, we are back with the Primetime Angles. I almost talked about my NFL show, but all good. Also, this week I'm gonna have we're gonna be recording Sweet Science, and I'm gonna have Mark Too Sharp Johnson in, the first ever African American flyweight champion and super flyweight champion. And it's significant because the brothers didn't fight in the the brothers never were champions in the little guy division. So it's very significant. So he's a part of our legends version of Sweet Science. So we got active guys and then we got legends. So whenever I have a guy who's retired, champion, things like that, it'd be a Sweet Science Legends edition. So we'll have our first legend edition with Mr. Mark Too Sharp Johnson. I look forward to it as well too. So you guys look forward to that. And also, you guys already know that my man Ty Tomlin won this weekend over at Austin P. You guys be on the lookout though for our latest interview that we just had with the latest interview we just had with him as well too. So you guys be on the lookout for that. That was pretty fun talking to Ty as well too. You guys can follow him at Ty Tomlin as well. So Short Fuse did get the win this weekend, and it was very impressive because he put him out in the second round. So let's go ahead and get into Talkin Tickets and Talkin Tickets. Let's see what it's all about. And Talkin Tickets up first is going to be the pick 6 here for the college basketball today. We got Eastern Tennessee State with the +6. We got George Mason with the +7.5. Then we have Stony Brook with the -5. And then we have Middle Tennessee State with the -12.5. Texas and Kansas have a showdown tonight on Big Monday tonight on ESPN. I'm going to take Texas, the home team, to go ahead and up in Kansas after thoroughly beating down Baylor Saturday. Very emotional win. I think that they turn back around and they get punched dead in their nose by Texas with the +100 tonight. And then we finish up with the road team tonight, Southeast Missouri. So there it is, 47-1, the CBB PrimeTime PK6. All right, we move on to the NBA Super High Five. This is going to be over 224.5 for the Raptors and Hornets game. And then also we have the Wizards money line +210. That's going to be our dog of the day. Then also we have the under 228 Suns and Bulls. So then pretty much we have and also we have the Thunder, as I said before, +12.5. And then we have the Jazz with the 7.5. So there it is. 39-1 on that ticket today. So I really do like that one as well too. And I think that we are on to something. So there it is. So once again, this is the Primetime Angles Live, the premier sports betting show. And as it says, scrolling by, you guys can catch the replay on the YouTube Prime Wave Media and also on my Instagram as well too. So, and it's already on Twitter Live, but it'll be on Twitter all day as well too. So you guys are the absolute best. I thank you guys very much for tuning in as well too. It's always a pleasure. And, I'll be back tomorrow. So we got some topics to talk about tomorrow as well. So you guys make sure to tune in, and it should be a lot of fun. And I'm working on trying to get somebody in tomorrow to possibly talk about that topic. So let's see if I give Gino Picola a call and see if he can do anything. Now, if you guys do need a bet of the day, I think that the best bet of the day could be Middle Tennessee State. I know it's a high number with the 12.5, but they're going against a team that's struggling mightily this season in San Antonio. So pretty much I think that Middle Tennessee State, the run that they've been on in conference play, beating the top teams in conference play by a lot of points, they should have a day at home against the Road Runners. So I like Middle Tennessee State today to go ahead and get themselves a big win. So there it is. So once again, this is the Primetime Angles Live, the premier sports betting show, hosted by Pop DiBiase, the Primetime Capper. And as I always say, if you got a hunch, bet a bunch. Always bet with your head, not with your heart. The movement is moving, and I am
From the East and the West, you've heard others, but now you've tuned into the best. This is a Prime Wave Media production.